Thinking of visiting Singapore? Then here you'll find what you need to know to travel to Singapore. In this Singapore Ultimate Travel Guide, we'll be looking at accommodation, entry requirements, how to get around this dynamic city, plus some handy tips to help you make the most of your money in the most expensive country in Asia. Hi, I'm Pete Greenhalgh, world traveller, adventurer, volunteer, granddad and photographer, and welcome to my home and office on the banks of the beautiful Maroochy River, Queensland. I've been privileged to travel the world since I was 18 years old, and through my channel I will share some experiences and up-to-date information on various destinations. So if you're like me and love to travel and experience different cultures, then you owe it to yourself to subscribe to this channel so we can learn about and experience this beautiful world together. So until we speak again, please be safe and happy travels. Welcome to Singapore, a city-state where the cultures collide. Singapore is a vibrant centre of contrast where old merges with new and east meets west. Singapore is an island nation with a population of 6 million people and located at the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula. Singapore is a small country, a melting pot of diverse ethnic cultures and a kind of one-stop shop for all things Asian. Singapore is a breeze to explore, with places of interest no more than an hour away from the central business area. There really isn't a bad time to visit Singapore. Even in the wet season, from September to April, you can still enjoy the city. From past experience, it usually only rains a few hours a day in the late afternoon. Covered walkways in the city make it easy to walk from place to place. The dry season runs from March to August, where the temperatures are milder and the humidity lower. So how long do you need to stay in Singapore? It depends on your budget and what you wish to see and do. But I would suggest 3 to 4 days would be enough time to visit major attractions like Merlion Park, Gardens by the Bay and Marina Bay. Or 7 days will give you enough time to visit shopping malls, theme parks, museums and experience the nightlife. The Singapore dollar is Singapore's official currency. From the date of this video, one Singapore dollar is worth $1.20 Australian. Most modern shops and restaurants are credit card friendly, but if you wish to eat the most delicious street food, you will need some cash. Singapore is one of the most expensive destinations in Asia, so how much should your daily budget be? When it comes to food, a meal in a hawker centre, a kind of food court, will cost you between $5 and $10, whereas a meal in a restaurant will set you back $20 to $100. A public bus or MRT trip costs between $1.20 and $3.60, depending on the distance. A beer at a bar will cost you around $12, while a cocktail will set you back at $25. I will be taking a closer look at accommodation in a later chapter of this Ultimate Travel Guide. Most visitors will arrive at Singapore via Changi International Airport, the best airport in the world. To enter Singapore, you will require a passport with 6 months validity from the date of arrival. You will also be required to apply for an e-visa before travelling to Singapore. This can be done online. You will also be required to complete the Singapore Arrival Card. The SGAC should be completed within 72 hours of arrival. I have left links in this video's description section.
It was all in vain, but I'm not
After arriving at Changi Airport and clearing customs and immigrations, you will need to find a way to get to your accommodations. You could take the train, but I suggest take a taxi, especially if you have luggage and are unfamiliar with the city, a taxi will take about 20 to 30 minutes and cost around 30 Australian dollars. The public transport system in Singapore is considered the best in the world. It is fast, reliable, affordable, and very user-friendly. No matter where you are in Singapore, you are never more than an hour from where you want to be. So why not use public transport to move around the city? You can use your credit or debit card without needing to purchase a travel pass or ticket. Simply swipe your card at the turnstile. This records the start of your journey. Board the train, and when you disembark at your destination, swipe the card again to allow the system to calculate the fare and withdraw the money. So, one of the biggest and most important questions in planning a trip is where to stay. After all, it is potentially the most expensive component of any trip. You could be forgiven for thinking that finding accommodation around Singapore's major tourist attractions would be a good option. Most of Singapore's attractions are centred around the Marina Bay area, and hotels in this area, because of their grand scale and prime location, demand premium prices. Therefore, I'm going to show you a few areas where you will get better value for your money. But for comparison, the prices per person per night in a budget accommodation is around 30 to 80 Australian dollars. Hotels between 100 and 200 Australian dollars. Anything $200 plus would be considered high end. So when searching for accommodation, look for places within walking distance of bus routes and train stations. Some areas in Singapore you should consider for accommodation are Little India, a vibrant, colourful area where you can easily walk the streets all day, taking various Hindu temples and the Indian Heritage Centre, as well as sample a host of food options. Find budget and mid-range hotels, all within easy walking distance of trains and bus routes. At number 2, the second best area to stay is in the Bugis district. This is a very lively area and you can have a lot of fun browsing Bugis Street. There are a lot of street fashion shops. For modern shopping malls, there is Bugis Junction and Bugis Plus. Food options are excellent here with the Albert Centre Hawker Centre, plus some very nice restaurants in Liana Street. With some outstanding transport options, this area offers budget, mid-range and luxury accommodations. But hands down, the best place to stay in Singapore is Chinatown. A vibrant neighbourhood with a host of things to see and do. There are Buddhist temples, loads of shops and many restaurants and hawker centres. There is also a large shopping mall called Chinatown Point. Here you will find a selection of budget-friendly, mid-range and several high-end hotels, all within easy walking distance of bus routes and 2 train stations. Singapore is an extremely safe country for visitors. With a very low crime rate and an effective police service, Singapore is consistently rated the safest country in Asia. That being said, you still need to exercise a degree of caution. Singapore is a bustling metropolis where ultra-modern high-rise buildings shadow traditional Asian and colonial architecture. Singapore is a country that has it all: modernity to tradition, efficiency and cleanliness, diversity and culture. Singapore has always been one of the world's greatest destinations that everyone should experience at least once. Thanks for watching. If you love travelling and learning about exotic countries, you owe it to yourself to subscribe to this channel so we can learn and experience this beautiful world together. So until we chat again, please be safe and happy travels.